The time is 11:15 a.m. Central Standard according to the Tower of the Friendly Mercantile. The tuner is on America's favorite YouTube channel, the Gen X Talk Podcast. Warmest greetings to all who are in range of our signal. It's now time to heed to, trice up, and mill about smartly throughout the premises, making sure every device in sight is set to America's favorite channel for music and news, and in doing whatever you must to ensure that this remains the case in perpetuity. I am Mike Stewart, known in some circles as Anthony Steele, speaking to you today from the nurturing biosphere of the mothership, with a homage to a personal hero and one of the greatest to ever do it in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the Old Gray Wolf. If you know, you know. Joining me on the bridge for this, our maiden voyage, is the master of the fist, the controversial cage fighter, Mr. Jabari Shakur.
What up?
And of course, manning his station on third base is the one and only king of the hyenas, the man you know as JB.
Love it.
So that's enough from me. So let's get this party started. What's
All right,
up, guys?
man. We're getting ready to talk about Mimi at the food court, the center of every Gen X's universe. And we shopped, we socialized, and then we just stopped going to the mall.
Well, you know, people didn't really completely stop going to the mall. There's still malls that are really popular. There's one called the Parks in Arlington, Texas, and that's still really popular.
Oh, yeah?
But what I've found out is a lot of the malls that we used to go to, they're pretty much as good as dead.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant when I said we. I meant
Yeah.
we.
Yeah.
There's definitely people going there.
There's a different dynamic today than there's ever been
Oh, yeah.
with kids. And, you know, I'm curious to deep dive in this because the mall is a big part of our youthful culture, without a doubt. And today, I'm not so sure that's really as impactful, because we've mentioned before, everything is tied into social media. Everybody's always on camera. Eyes are upon everyone. And I feel like the dynamic of social entertainment and socialization in general has just changed. And so, but can you guys remember the food court? Can you guys remember the mall and those vivid type images back in the old school days?
Heck, yeah, we can remember. I differ a little bit. I think that everything's the same. I think we changed. Like that. Look at your hair. Look at my hair.
Little Greg.
Yeah, we changed. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and they're doing the same thing we were doing. It's just our perspective, I believe, has really changed. You know, what we were going to do, think about what you were going to do. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And now as a parent, think about your daughter or your son going to do what you were going to do.
That's true.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that is true.
That's the difference, I believe. Oh,
So let's talk about dropping our kids off at the mall for a moment. So, well, let's back it up and talk about when we got dropped off at the mall.
yeah,
I mean, I don't even remember getting dropped off at the mall. I used to literally ride my bike
yeah.
to the mall. And I don't even know if I'd be okay with my kid riding the bike 5 miles now. You know, I'd be
Yeah, it's
afraid
different.
that texter will run them over or some shit like that.
Yeah, we rode the bus. We got there however we could.
Yeah.
We lied. I tell my friend, hey, his mom's gonna take. I tell my parents, his mom's gonna take us. He tell his mom, hey, his parents are gonna take us, and we'll figure it out. Actually, we would lie about who was gonna pick us up. I think that's what would happen. We would create a story just to get there, and once you're there,
Dude, and
it's on.
the bigger thing about the mall for me was the movie theater. You know, that is the number one thing it just dawned on me. I was like, okay, what did I do the most at the mall? It was go to the movie theater because that was the darkest, quietest place you could be with a girl, you know what I mean, and not get caught, you know.
Okay, I can honestly say that I have never done that. I've never gone to the movie theater at the mall to hook up with a girl. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. I've never gone to one of those that were inside the mall, but there was always one right next to the mall.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, it really is the same
it's the
thing.
same.
But yeah, that was actually pretty great. Going to the movies and sitting at the back of the theater for whatever.
Man, I got the crazy story once. I'll tell you, this is crazy. There was this girl, and dude, back in the day, she was, little endowed on the top side, and I was excited.
She had big titties.
She had big titties. She had some big old titties. Her titties had titties, and it was exciting for me. And I was young because I never really been around them that big before. I was like, damn, And so I never forget. I was really excited because I had this shirt. And it was this cool long sleeve shirt, and it had black stripes going across it. And I don't remember the name brand or anything like that, but I was super excited to look fly. Back the word fly.
What mall was this?
This was
'Cause we're out in Fort Worth, right?
Yeah. This was let me see.
80s, 90s,
Yeah, this was Parks Mall, I think.
80s, 90s.
No, this was 90s. Like
90s,
this
okay.
was 94.
No, I just want to set the tone.
No, I love it. No. 94. I was probably 14 years old. And yeah, and so I remember I was really excited about this shirt, and this girl, she was a tan, beautiful, just, I hate to say her name, she hears this, she'd be like, talking about my big old titties. But anyways, she was hot. No, I'm like, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. But get back to it. So I put this shirt on. And remember I told you guys we joked around about me being called Dirty Jeremy Fart Blossom.
No, we don't remember. Tell us about it.
Well, yeah, so I was called Dirty Jeremy Fart Blossom. David Dickey, grew up in our neighborhood. I don't know who remembers that guy, but he called me that because I hung around, or I had 3 to 4 big dogs, that we had this big yellow station wagon, and my mom would take me to school when these big old dogs, German Shepherds, and I'd go to school smell like a dog. I couldn't help it. They were big as I was.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, you remember that shit?
Yeah, since you brought it up, yeah, we remember that. We played football with you, too.
Yeah, dude.
Right there in your yard.
Dude. And so I would joke around, like I would roughhouse with the dog sometimes before I go out and do something. And this time I was roughhousing just for a second with a shirt on, and the dog ripped my shirt. And I was like, man, I was disappointed because I had the perfect shirt to, potentially score and be able to make it with this particular chick. Scoring back then just meant, you get a kiss or a hug and you'd be able to press, her to you or someone in that nature. Anyhow, so as I was roughhousing with the dog ripped my shirt. And so what I did, man, is I said, fuck this shit. This shirt was too cool. I literally taped the shirt back.
Oh, man.
And I strategically taped it to where I ironed the tape. And I'll never forget, I went into the mall and went into the movie, and we had our date, and I can't remember the damn movie we watched back then. I want to say it was a Julia Roberts something in there. I can't remember, but one of those actors back in the time, or actresses. And then she started to give me a hug, and all of a sudden she started feeling that tape on me. And she was like, "What? What's all that? What is she was just feeling like, what's all that tape doing?" And I was just like, I don't know. I just I don't know what the hell. I didn't know what to say. And then ever since then, she called me the tape guy.
Yeah.
So we started dating, and nicknamed the tape guy, and I don't know.
I don't remember that.
No, that's what I was called by this group.
My mall it's now Grand La Plaza. We called it Town Center.
Yeah.
Before Town Center was Seminary South. And the biggest memory I have as far as positive memories is Sesame Street Live.
Yeah.
Sesame Street Live was the shit. And my first girlfriend was Maria on Sesame Street. And that's all I can remember from that. We used to go down there, and right there were it was like a little waterfall. Y'all remember that? You remember Town
Yeah.
on the side? And they had Sesame Street Live. I don't know if it was a once a year thing but that's my best memory as far as a kid.
Yeah, be able to have Maria.
Yeah, Maria on Sesame Street was my first girl.
Damn.
That was
You gotta
before
Google
Janet
her.
Jackson and Whitney Houston.
What she look like now? See what Google. her.
Yeah, I might do that. I don't want to say if I see it, but I'm pretty sure it's just. What about you, Mike?
My biggest memory about that mall was the game room, the arcade tilt. And there was actually an incident down there where I would always play this one game. It was called 1943, The Battle of Midway, and I would play it for hours. Like, that was my game. And one day I was down there playing, and I was on a big roll. I was getting really, really far in the game. But as it turned out, it was about 90 degrees outside, about 100 degrees inside, and I was wearing this big, thick wool denim jacket. And I mean, I was sweating profusely, but I was so far in the game, I wasn't going to stop to take the jacket off. And the next thing I know, I wake up in the back of an ambulance because I had just had a heat stroke.
Damn.
And I remember seeing the lights, and I believe my sister was in the ambulance with me, and I ended up in the hospital that day. So me not taking the time to take off my jacket because I didn't want to die in the game, I almost ended up dying in real life.
Oh, shit.
So that's how that ended up for me. That's like one of my biggest memories of that mall. And other than that, my dad was part of the walking club there. Like they would just go to the mall and walk every day.
That's
like,
what people do now. Like,
Yeah.
it was actually a club back then.
yeah.
That's cool. I thought they were just doing that for exercise.
Yeah, well, for exercise, but yeah, it was a whole walking club.
Yeah, I remember
you know,
seeing
they
a
would
lot
all-
of people doing it. Yeah, more. Never knew that.
Yeah, I think they even had a little system where they score points where if you come consistently and you do it every day. Yeah, that was a whole thing at Seminary South / Town Center.
What about looking at the girls?
Oh, yeah.
Let's
man.
go to high school, middle school.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have Facebook back then. I
No.
think that's important if we had young listeners,
Oh,
our
yeah.
younger audience, to understand. You with this Facebook stuff, you can see girls from everywhere,
Dude, nuts.
all over the city.
Nuts.
But back then, the only way you could see a girl outside of your neighborhood is at the mall
At
or
the
church.
mall. Yeah.
Or church. Well, we talking about the mall.
Church, yeah.
The mall.
Church, you got to be
And,
real
yeah,
good.
and so that was the big thing for me at Townsend, because being in South Fort Worth or even East Fort, wherever you are, you see the same people from your hood pretty much every day.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to see that girl from Dunbar, that girl from Everman, if you didn't go to
Yeah.
Everman, or why, she gonna be at the mall, and between the telephone, you would know. You have a cousin go to school over here.
Yep.
He like, yeah, says you gonna be at the mall, and that was the spot to meet
You-
the women and fight.
You know what's crazy? You're right. And you know what's nuts? Am I the only one who thinks all the girls from the other schools are finer than the girls in my school?
Hell yeah,
The grass is always greener on the other side.
that's life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it is,
That
isn't
next
it?
door neighbor wife gonna look better than yours, or that single chick across the street gonna look better than your wife, but you better not touch her. You'll lose your house and everything.
Yeah, no shit, man.
You won't be able to go to the mall.
Yeah, you know, when you go to the mall, they're brand new girls. They're different from the girls at the school because they haven't turned you down yet. And it's a
He
place
said
full
that
of
you down yet.
They don't know I'm a nerd.
yeah, it's a place full of new opportunity, and they don't know anything about you. They haven't heard about your history, so you can kind of present yourself however you want, and mainly still fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in my world.
Yeah.
You know, I always wanted to have a little extra cash when I went to the mall because when I did talk to girls, because I was scared. I was scared to go up to girls, but I wanted to make sure I had enough money to buy them something. You know, because even back then, instinctively, I know you got to pay the bitch. You know, you got to pay the bitch. You know, that's the only way you get her. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of. But, you know, so you go up to them and I'll be like, cookies. You remember the cookies back in those days?
Mm-hmm.
Those big ass cookies?
Yes.
Do they still have the cookies in the mall?
Yeah,
I
they're
have
like
no
fucking
clue.
$10
Yeah.
a fucking cookie. Yeah, they got them.
But that shit worked though. I'll be like, hey, can I buy you a cookie?
Cookies are fucking $10, bro. You buy 7 of them, you get one free. So for $70, you get a free.
I wonder if I went up to a girl in the mall now and we did that. Just to try out some old school mall tactics. You just walk up to them, hey, how are you? I'm JB, nice to meet you. Can I buy you a cookie today?
See, we didn't have to do none of that.
Okay.
We went to the mall with no money.
Yeah.
None at all. We going. Your mom and them tell you, or you might get $2, or you might, and you're gonna be there all day, and whatever you do. So we stole, we did it all. We gonna find our friend, like we come to Crowley, we gonna find our friend like Jeremy, somebody with some money. That one person gonna have the money,
Yeah.
and they're gonna buy everything for everybody. But we never had money when we went to the mall. I'm like,
Shit.
we had a good time though.
Yeah, man. I remember the day back doing it.
You put your food in your backpack. They probably don't remember that. My friends remember that. Your mama sends you there, and you take food from the house. So you got your jacket or whatever, you put that on, you put your food in there. Shit, we ready to be out there all day.
Hell yeah.
We ain't leaving that mall. It was a good day.
Yeah, you know, for me, I rarely brought money to the mall whenever I went out, unless I was going to buy something, which 99% of the time I wasn't. So we would go to Hewlin Mall and hang out, me and my friends, and we would go out there to try to talk to girls as usual. And we had this one day where this random dude came out of nowhere and he starts walking and hanging out with us. And we thought maybe he was in a gang or something because he had basically a blue dish rag in his pocket. It wasn't even a bandana or anything that would symbolize you're actually in a gang. So, we didn't really say much to him. We thought he was cool. So we walked with him and we talked about the girls and all that. About 10 minutes later, we see him talking to the security guards. And 5 seconds after that, they were kicking us out of the mall. So it turned out that this dude was a plant, and I guess he was trying to find out what we were up to, which we were never really up to anything.
That's weird.
And
hurry up and buy.
Yeah.
Hurry up and buy.
They wanted us to buy something or get the hell out of there.
Damn.
And that's just how it played out.
A real life.
Trouble usually starts when you don't have no money. There's
Yeah.
always a broke motherfucker that starts shit. I used to be that. Thank God for growth.
Yeah, they cover it. Well, listen, don't get me confused. I didn't always have money. I just was always able to find a way to get it.
Oh, yeah.
I was always the negotiator and always able to get the ability to have a few pennies and cash together because that was my personality. Still is this day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I went to the mall armed and dangerous, but I always told myself, okay, I wanted to impress. So I was like, okay, I want to be able to impress a young lady and be able to buy her a soda, buy her pizza. My ass would go hungry, though. I mean, I'd be starving, watching her
it
eat.
was a trick from day one.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
That's it. Fuck it. hey, you know what? If she's advertising, I'm buying. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's the way to go, man. Those are the days. So what? Well, Mike, you don't have any children.
I don't, no.
Jeremy, you?
I got 3, man. I know my 3 kids are 15, 17, and 21.
Okay, and my daughter's 17.
Yeah.
Let's say our kids were listening right now. What we did back then versus what we want them to do. Would those two stories sound the same, or would they be totally different?
Man, kids today, the difference is they're never alone. You could be in the mall, but on your phone with 10 people on a video chat.
Yeah.
And you could be in the mall, and all you guys could be in different parts of the mall, but you're still communicating.
Right.
And I just feel like the dynamic of socialization is so different now
Yeah.
that I don't know what the hell to expect. I mean, I'm going to tell you honest. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, okay, so if I drop, and I have dropped my son Grant, he's my 15-year-old. He loves going to the mall.
Right.
And he didn't struggle the way I struggled. I couldn't get girls like he can. He's a really good-looking kid. And so girls just flock to him. And he loves to go.
Shout out to his mother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Sarah. Yeah. No. Sarah was a beautiful woman. She was definitely a much better-looking human being than me. I mean, which isn't a real hard feat. I'll show you here. Hold on. I'll show you a picture. I don't know. I know you, Mike. You've seen Sarah before.
I've seen Sarah before.
You seen Sarah?
Yeah.
That was her back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. She.
I think that, like I said earlier, I think our perspective has just changed because where we are. And I'm that real parent. I hear a lot of people in our generation, and you all listen, I wish somebody would comment, but, people talk about, oh, man, in our day, it wasn't this, and the kids are bad these days. Man, you motherfuckers are lying. They were shooting at the mall when we went to the mall. They were fighting. They were stealing.
Yeah.
Everything that goes on today, they were doing, especially in the 90s. It was worse. It was a lot worse.
Oh,
and some of us were a part of that. And I think as you get older and you mature and you have children and you grow, you're afraid of that for your child.
Yep.
But I believe that we should be honest with our kids. Like I just tell my daughter, I don't want you to go. I don't want you doing none of the shit I was doing. I don't want you doing what some of those people were doing. That's it.
Yeah.
But to sugarcoat it and make it like, oh, it's just so bad now. And, man, we're so full of shit, not generation.
No, you're right, though.
We're so full of shit.
But here's the thing. I think the reason we feel that way instinctively, because we had more street smarts. There was a different street smart, man, back in those days than there is today.
You think so?
Oh, I know 100%. Yeah, because my kids don't pay attention. Like where my ex-wife, Sarah, again, where she lives is in the southwest part of Fort Worth that is near like over there by what's the hell name of that street? Wedgewood,
Out to Mesa McCarty area?
El- yeah, out to Mesa
West
McCarty.
Creek?
Yeah, right
That's
up in there.
that's where I am.
Right.
You probably call that the hood, huh?
No, I don't say it's the hood. There's a hood. Okay, like Como might be the hood.
Don't
Poly
say
might-
that.
I'm just saying. There might be a little more aggression in those areas. I don't know.
There's more aggression on the Southwest, I guarantee.
Oh, there you go. See, that's my point.
Mhm.
It's so, but my son is like, yeah, hey, I want to go run at like 8:00 at night because he's in track by himself all throughout the neighborhood there. And I'm thinking, well, back in my day, and you know this, back in our day, there was a lot of gang initiation. And I was actually subject to that in my neighborhood. We got
Yeah.
jumped.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It was around.
Yeah, it was a real deal. And I tell you, we did.
Mhm.
You know?
Okay, if you got jumped, that means you got jumped into a gang.
No.
you
It was
running from the gang.
No, I didn't get jumped because they want me in the gang. I got jumped because I was the initiation because I was white. Fuck,
Yeah.
they're coming at me. That's what happened back in those days.
Yeah. He means like me and you were getting initiated, and we got to go beat up on somebody like him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it happened. It definitely did.
it did.
See,
Yeah, it did.
I always thought gang initiation was everyone beat you up, and that's how you got in.
That
If you
can
could
happen
hold
too.
your own.
That can happen too.
Yeah,
but-
that could happen.
But
too.
oftentimes, it's very easy to do that. A lot of times, people want to see you do something that's harder to do to show loyalty. It's easy for me to sit here and let you all jump me and fight you all back because we
Yeah.
do that all the time.
Yeah,
But if you tell me, hey, you got to go over here and jump this white kid, it
Yeah.
probably risk me going to jail.
right.
Yeah,
That's
that's some real.
It-
not that you can't beat them up, but the fact of the consequences of it. That's what I think it's.
Yeah, that my point in saying that is I was aware,
Yeah,
and because gang violence, I think back in those days was way more prevalent than it is today.
I think so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
think
lot
so.
worse in the 90s.
It was a lot worse.
Yeah.
we was way.
That gave street smarts to me in the sense of what the hell to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
And my son don't have that. He's like, "What? You're full of shit, Dad." I'm like, "No, it really happened."
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays all the gangbanging's on Twitter.
Yeah. My daughter was telling me, she was like, Daddy, all the boys do is, she said, they start off friends and then they rap. She's like, they rap and they make a song and then they talk about each other and then they fight and then they want to shoot each other because of what somebody said. But they were friends originally. And I was like, yeah.
Oh man.
It's all stupid to the older generation. It's not going to make sense.
Well, yeah, and just to cap that story off, I'll never forget. We lived behind. You remember where I lived? My
Yeah.
house. We lived behind that Jonathan's
The
food store. Remember
in
in Jamie's? Yeah,
It's Jimmy's. Yeah.
Jimmy's now.
Everybody
Yeah,
hung at the car wash. So dope, right there. at
right there in the
wash.
car wash. That's where
Yeah,
that's where the
everything
gangs
was.
hung out.
That's
Yeah.
everybody,
Well, one day, me and my brother were walking to the store to go get some candy, and I was probably about 10 or 9, and my brother was like 11 or 12. And we were walking back. Now, in our backyard, we had those 3 big old dogs. So we're in the backyard, you're safe, And so they saw us, and they yelled at us, and they started chasing us, and they were about to kick the shit out of us. And I was
Oh,
quick,
man.
huh?
I said, oh, man.
Oh, dude, this really happened. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and they finally grabbed a hold of my brother, Jeffrey, grabbed him by his neck. And I was able to make it over. I yelled at the top of my lungs. I was just screaming, trying to get to the yard. And all of a sudden, I turn around, and I look at them, and they're white as a ghost. Everybody just stopped. They just look white as a ghost. And I turn around and look, and my dad's holding a double-barrel shotgun at him, butt naked because he just got off work. He goes, "I'll shoot all you motherfuckers."
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you said I heard everything,
Yeah.
but only one thing stuck. You said your dad was butt naked because
Yep.
he just got off work.
He got out of
Look-
work. He was in the shower.
Oh,
And he was a railroader.
I was like, what the hell job? I just get off work every day. I'm never butt naked.
But
with a shotgun.
he worked in the
Oh.
heat like you do, and so he'd go home and take a shower.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm
And-
thinking he came from
No,
work
no, no.
naked. I'm like, what
But
kind of job is that?
ever since then, though, we had no more problems. It was it. That cured it, and then made a friends, a lot of them,
What stores do you miss from back in the day?
There's a few that I missed, but I want to get back to that double-barreled shotgun for a second because that's a pretty old school tool. I don't think I've ever even seen a double-barreled shotgun.
Yeah, we named it
Like
we named it Jake, and it was a double barrel shotgun, and it was a 10-gauge shotgun. It was big, and it was just a gun that was a family heirloom that was given to us. And my dad was a Vietnam War vet, so he had a lot of stories. He just didn't take no shit,
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, it needed to be done, but it was crazy because after that event, I ended up meeting people through those relationships that are still friends to me this day. We're all close. I mean, it was just crazy in the time, you know, it was just nuts.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just about knowing people, man. Gangs are
Yeah, that's a lot of it right there is that, you know,
misunderstood people.
People who want to belong to something and think that's the way to do it. And eventually, as you get older, you just figure out that you really don't need a lot of people in your life. Yeah. And for the most part, they're just problems.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as far as the stores go, the one store that I really missed was the toy stores, the places like Babbage's where I used to get my Nintendo games. And
man, I forgot about that till they said Babbage's.
Yeah.
And all of those places, that's where I went to a lot because a lot of the times I would go down, I'd play games at the arcade, but then I had my Nintendo system at home too. So I would walk through Babbage's, again, no money, and I would just look at all the games that I'd like to play one day.
That's me, buddy, at Foot Locker. I used to love Foot Locker, but I couldn't buy, my parents didn't allow me to wear those expensive shoes. Even when I started getting my own money. We weren't really allowed to spend that type of money on shoes. It was always get 2 or 3 pairs for that price, or the difference. You know, I'm just going to make up $100 versus $40, and you can invest at $60, or you could do this with that $60.
Yeah,
I appreciate my parents for that.
Yeah.
Now you got made fun of at school sometimes around certain kids, but you know what I noticed? A lot of those children that wore all of those top clothes are poor now.
Fuck yeah, they're broke.
They're broke as fuck.
Yeah,
They don't. Their children don't look like even as good as we did.
No.
And I say, but they'll have that look. But I'm talking about as far as way of living, money in the bank. You kind of see a trend. That stuff. That's one thing I like about that experience. That experience of going to that school, you learn a lot, man.
Boy, you really did. You hit the nail on the head that one.
Yeah. I had to. You know, there's the only thing I did. I buy designer frames. You remember in school? Y'all don't remember?
Those look good though. What are those? What kind of?
Oh, these are Gazelles, but like all my frames are. I'm not gonna lie, 1,000, 15. I don't care.
But you pull it off well, you know.
But in school, I had those big, thick ass glasses. And
I remember.
I had those little bifocals.
I remember.
Back then, they had the little line on them. Look, man, that was the most embarrassing moments. You had to go to school, and I had this big ass eyes, and little head.
Oh, dude,
the same size as they
dude.
were. They probably the same size as they are now.
Well, you filled out, man.
But man, those were some troublesome days. And then switching from this school district to this school district.
Yeah.
People wearing jabos and
all
that shit y'all want, man. Fuck that.
Dude.
That'll make you fight. That'll make you join a gang. That'll make you sell drugs.
That'll make you do the pressure, peer pressure.
Yeah, that'll make you so a lot of times I understand what's going on out here. A lot of times it's just that when you get removed from situations, it's easy to forget. Like it's very easy to forget.
Yeah.
Or it's easy just to get caught up in what you want now. You know, I don't want my daughter with no dude like this. I don't want this. You know, it's real easy. But if you ever just sit back and go back and think like, man, some of this stuff I understand. I'm not saying it's right.
No.
I definitely, it makes a lot of sense.
No, man.
Being broke is not, it's like a disease.
No, well, you know, we all grew up in the same neighborhood. Ain't none of us had a lot of money or anything, you know.
Yeah, but boy.
I definitely didn't have a lot of money. I still don't. And I didn't even get to have the expensive shoes. So I'm a little bit salty about that.
Hey, but you had the first car.
Okay, I
You
did
did
have
We
have
used
the
to
first
pile
car.
up in this dude's
Yeah.
car, go everywhere, man. How many of us was that a little what was that little light blue car?
It was a Plymouth Reliant.
How many of us were in that car?
I think I had a day where we got 9 people in that car and went to the bowling
I remember
alley.
your blue. I remember that car.
Man, we would go everywhere in that car. We
No.
didn't have to ride it. We didn't have to get no more rides. We could get everywhere with Mike.
9 people. This was no pickup. This wasn't even a Dodge Charger. This was a little car.
And Mike was 2 years older than us.
Yeah.
So he was 16. We were 14.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Mike was the coolest dude.
The coolest guy.
Yeah, I think we got 4 people in the front seat and 5 in the back seat. I think one person laid on top of everyone else.
Mike used to be the neighborhood gatherer. Like you mentioned off show earlier, we all play football. And I remember Speaking of which,
That's how I met all of you all.
yeah, and I remember,
Playing football.
yeah, I
I didn't
remember
meet y'all at school.
if I remember correctly, your dad
Yep.
played with us,
Yep.
and I remember that church.
Yeah, we played at that church back
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and your dad had this like long like
Jerry
glow.
curl.
Yeah, dude,
Yep. Go ahead and say, you better
Yeah,
say
no,
glowing hair.
glowing hair, so
It was
glow.
a Jerry
So-
curl.
so
I bet he's
glow.
watching too. I bet
Oh
he's watching.
shit, I'm sorry.
He had that motherfucker till the 90s.
my bad.
91. I think he cut his off the same time Ice Cube cut his.
Your dad was cool
They
though.
called my dad. Everybody called my dad Ice Cube.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I do remember. He was cool. Your dad was cool. He played. He was teaching us plays.
And then knocked the shit out of us like we were grown men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember getting
Yeah.
plowed. Yeah, now speaking of, yeah, that's all right though. That's how you
Like,
grow
these
up.
days
man.
you get sued for that.
Oh no, see,
You get sued. You go to jail probably for what he was doing to us.
dude, that's so nuts.
He's probably gonna be glad to know y'all remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember, and I remember for some reason y'all lived in those apartments.
The little duplex thing.
Yeah, little duplex.
Yeah, 3 kids in 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
So we could go to the good school.
That's all right though. Hey, they did what they had to do.
Me, my brother, and my sister. And when she had friends spend the night, we had to stay somewhere else.
You
Yeah,
know, it's crazy thinking about those times. I remember playing ball back then in the back. Y'all had a hoop.
Yeah, we had a basketball goal there.
Yeah.
And the same gang people came and broke it.
And oh my! And I
Boot-
think I
it was
remember.
Boot and I can't remember who that was. Yeah, it was one day finally broke our basketball.
Yeah, dude, I remember that. I remember that goal, and I remember for some reason I want to think your sister was a cheerleader or something, like maybe
Mhm.
for some
She-
kind of a, like,
she was a cheerleader. She was a cheerleader at the school too.
yeah.
When we first came there, she was actually a childhood actress, and her and my mom were in California. So it was just me, my brother, and my dad in the beginning, like
Oh, wow.
6th, 7th grade.
Oh,
Yeah, my sister came later. Yeah,
Dang,
yeah, them was way back in the day.
man, it's good to be able to talk like that, though. You know,
Heck
that's
yeah.
that's part of the show. We all coming to the
And
ages.
you and your sister look just alike.
kind of, sort of. Yeah,
Y'all
we
were
did-
twins, weren't you?
yeah. We had a lot of when we were younger. We looked different now.
She was taller than you too.
Yeah, she was taller back then. She had brown eyes and brown hair.
Yeah, I remember you all. They looked loud. They were like, and yeah, I remember y'all were like the first like real like white kids we was around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our opinion of white kids. And I'm sorry to say, and they smell like dogs.
Hey,
That's like a stereotype that black people have about white people.
We were
I mean,
that,
it is.
though. We
and
were-
y'all really did.
we
So
were
it was
hillbillies like a
I was
motherfucker,
like,
dude.
damn, these people really do smell like dogs.
This shit was real though.
Oh man, I can just imagine what people said in their homes, like what they said about us
Oh,
and what they
dude.
said. You know, we were like the kids that stayed. Everybody else had houses.
Yeah.
We were like the kids in the little apartments. You know,
Yeah.
so people had whatever. We were associated with all the kids in the apartments.
I remember.
That's where all the bad stuff came from, the apartments.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody said. You know,
Yep.
y'all's houses got broke into because of the kids in the apartment.
Yeah. Shit.
But see, when I was a kid, for whatever reason, I always thought apartments were cooler than houses because you were close to all your friends. Like, I would go to Park West all the time. Like, I
Oh,
never
yeah.
even thought
Besides
of
the fucking swimming pool, it was not.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Yeah.
I can tell you, but
But see, I always thought that was so awesome. It's like they have a swimming pool. They don't have to go far to see their friends.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed like that the apartments were the way to live back then when
Yeah.
I was a teenager or a young kid. There's no way in hell. I don't want apartments anywhere near me now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
back then, you know.
Yeah,
I
you didn't
thought
have to
they
go
were
far to
great.
see your friends, and you didn't have to go far to see the person you didn't like
Right.
next door to you, and the people didn't have to come far to break in your apartment. And it was a lot of stuff that goes along with it.
Dude, the thing about apartments is kind of like a mini mall. It's like you got all the diversity and all these people and all these different complexes. And I enjoyed, you talk about Park West, which was near Sycamore, the school, the elementary school.
Yeah, by the elementary
Mhm.
school.
Yeah.
You can actually go through that little gate. in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Right,
Right?
yep,
Yep.
mhm.
And you go right in there.
Yep.
And I liked it
So the
because
people in the front didn't know you didn't live there. Sneak in the
they
pool.
had no idea.
Yeah, you just go through the back.
But it was like you could kind of conjugate in like the pool areas and outside, and that's where more girls would be. Like, you know,
Everything about you was about girls.
dude, always. That's all it was, man. Shit.
From way back then.
Man, I used to try to steal the cable through the fuzz. You know what I mean? try to get the adult channel.
Man.
Yeah, that's yeah, basically the swimming pool at the apartment, that might as well be the neighborhood pool. because we would come over and we would get in there if we could, or if we knew someone that lived there, even if we didn't know someone that lived there.
Can we say people's names from back in the day?
I don't
You remember
care.
Chaka Powers? Chaka was the baddest motherfucker in the world when we were kids. She was probably 2 years older than us.
I do remember.
I think she's married to Romeo. He was like, remember Romeo? You got to know him.
I know those
Mike.
names.
I'm sure I do.
No,
Chaka graduated with
But
you. or the year
nobody
before?
watching knows who any of these people are.
Man, it doesn't matter. We do. We're talking about
Yeah,
back
yeah,
then.
yeah,
nobody,
yeah.
Nobody knows the Park West apartments either. But Chaka was the girl that everybody went to Park West to go see in the swimming pool.
Okay, Chaka was this gorgeous woman who looks a lot like Zendaya, I would say, back
I
She's
then.
remember-
like black
She-
and mixed looking like.
I
she
do
could've been
remember.
black and Asian. or
Freckles
something.
on her. I remember.
I don't know about freckles, but she was the man. When we were in the 6th, 7th grade, she was probably a freshman or something. And everybody went there to see Chaka in that pool.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, boys came from all different Meadow Creek, like just to see her.
Damn.
She wasn't going to talk to you or none of that.
Damn.
I
What she
don't
looks like
have
now.
no bad stories about her. or Nothing. You come just to see Chaka in the pool. Shout out to Chaka Powers.
If you're listening, can you?
And Romeo, shout out to you too, because I think they're still married.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
No respect.
No, we don't care. He don't give it. He can't give it at this point.
Yeah.
They probably don't even like each other if they are married.
Yeah.
But
This,
they've been together a long time.
Oh
if
my-
they're still together.
that's a long.
If they're
ass
still
time.
together, they've been together since I was a virgin.
Damn.
That's a long time.
I was about to say, is that how long?
Yeah.
Long.
17 years.
Oh shit.
So we talked earlier before we had the connection issues, but so you guys all remember back in the days when the only places in the mall were Chick-fil-A and Orange Julius, and every once in a while there'd be a cafeteria, but
We didn't even have that at my mall.
nowadays, they have like a full food court with everything, and that started to grow back in our day when we were teenagers. We started to see
Yeah.
more and more places, but there's a lot of places out there now that you only see at the mall, and a lot of them are actually really good.
Yeah.
But I wonder if those are starting to go away because food trucks are getting more popular now,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of new and exotic things that you can have right around the house.
Mhm.
Well, I think it all goes with the idea that the mall was the hub for retail,
Right.
and now retail, let's face it, is mostly online.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I can't tell you, like last Christmas, I bought 90%, no joke, 90% of all the Christmas presents and shit all on Amazon. Every one of them. I didn't beat no lines up. I didn't search the no damn toy stores, nothing. Straight up Amazon. You know what I mean? And the malls are just going away.
Yeah. The mall's just a place to hang out.
That's it. And I think that what's happening, you're going to see less development in malls, and you're going to see more of these like Clear Fork type developments, which are these outside plazas
Like
now.
strips and stuff,
Yeah, because that gives an
Like strip
ambiance.
malls.
Yeah, strip malls
Yeah.
and
It's going back
centers.
to the way it began. It began that way.
yeah, that's
You know,
right.
remember, it used
Yeah.
to be that way. Now all they're doing is recycling ideas. You run this course for
Yeah.
years and years.
Yep.
It plays out.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
you start back over, and then the new generation of people will think this is something new.
Yep.
And we remember it. We're going to sound like our parents back in the day or our grandparents. Oh, when I was a kid, that's the same as this. And you're thinking they're full of shit, but they're really telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to bring back Foley's.
Yeah, Foley. Yeah, no shit.
And the kids will think, oh, it's some new store called
Foley's,
Foley's. And
man.
it's like, oh, it's new Sears. Sears is going away.
Yeah, Sears
In
is
a lot of
done.
places.
Sears is bankrupt
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they've been going for some time though.
Yeah, a few years.
Several years. You
They'll
guys-
be back, though.
Yeah.
one
They'll
day
be back.
maybe.
Yeah, they will. They will.
You guys-
Bankruptcy for rich people is different than for poor people. That just basically means they get to keep everything and they got away with a lot of money.
Well,
When
yeah,
you
but
forget, they'll be back.
yeah,
unless you're Montgomery Ward, then you're just gone.
you're just gone. Well, Sears.
I think
is,
Sears is Montgomery Ward.
yeah, they're
It's the same store and a new name.
it might be.
They just changed the name.
The best thing about Sears when I was a teenager was their catalog.
Oh yeah, the Sears
When
catalog.
that catalog came to the house, that was the closest thing to Playboy you could have.
Yeah.
Those bras, those underwear. Yeah, I
This
was,
guy
I was
was-
that kind of a perv. I was all about it.
Kind of. Mike Still perv.
Hey,
throwing it out there.
I was too, but my favorite thing was the mannequins at Sears.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, the
see,
mannequins.
that's a step beyond what I just said. Okay,
No, it's not
pictures
because
are
I was a
one
little
thing.
kid.
Did
I
you
was
assault?
a kid.
Did you assault the mannequin?
I was a kid, but at 4, 5, 6 years old, I think I got slapped and beat a couple of times. Yes, because I mean, yeah, I did. Touched on the mannequin, and I got my ass whooped, and I broke that habit right then.
So when you
That's
touch,
the difference. Everybody was started off perverts and this and that.
yeah,
It doesn't matter if your parents were there. To,
No.
Like, you don't do that. And
Yeah.
you get that ass beat good. You learn this is not the way. But yeah, that's the, of course. The mannequins was the baddest thing at the store when I was a little boy.
I don't know if it's necessarily perverted or, you know, when you're young, I guess there's some curiosity involved.
Heck yeah.
And then when you're older,
Y'all
you kind
did
of,
it
you know
too.
what's going on.
And somebody
and,
listening
and
did
the
the
whole
same
game
thing.
changes.
Somebody
yeah.
listening did the same thing. It's just some people won't admit it.
Okay, did anyone watching touch the mannequins at the mall?
Or just looked at them.
Fondle them, caress
Or
them,
just looked at them and admired them. Yeah, they did.
pull their skirts up. Because I might have pulled a skirt up or two.
Yeah, man.
That could have happened
Yeah, it
in
happened.
my youth. I think there was a movie called Splash.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks and who's that real hot chick? Daryl Hannah. She played the mermaid.
Right.
Yeah,
And in that movie,
that's a real white show.
Man, I'm just looking like,
Man.
hey, it sounds good.
Man, I'm
at the
tell-
very beginning of the movie, it was this kid dropping change underneath the girls that were wearing skirts or
Yep.
dresses.
yeah.
And he'd pick up the change and try to look up their skirt.
Oh, okay. Smart guy.
Yeah, and that was like the only thing I remember about the movie, other than there was a mermaid in it somewhere. And
See, all he remembers is that.
Well, I remember, now you mentioned change. I remember actually literally, because I was broke too, shit. You know, I would skim the water fountains. But I would do it real strategically. Like I'd be scratching my back and leaning over, my hand going at damn water fountain and grab a handful of quarters. I'm stealing other people's wishes, but
Oh, yeah, the little fountains.
Shit,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
I think we all did that.
dude,
We'll jump in there. At Seminary South Townsend Mall, that look,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whose money is it really? It's out in the
Yeah,
open. It's in the
yeah,
public.
yeah.
I don't think you're stealing.
it's like you made a wish and I made a wish.
Yeah, is it really? I wonder though, you know, now that I think about it, I wonder if it's technically, if it's in the water, in the open, does it
No,
belong
it's
to the
not
mall? Or is it just in the open and really if you take it, go, I just thought I found it.
Man, I'd
No, I
jump
have
in
to
there and
admit,
get
it sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
you guys were pretty desperate for cash back then. See, I only did it if I saw a quarter.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, okay.
And I went straight down to tilt,
Oh, yeah, you.
and I was going to get
Yeah.
a
Tilt.
couple rounds in.
Are tilts around anymore?
I don't know. I think they've all kind of changed because, you know, the home gaming pretty much knocked out all of the arcades back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Wyatt's Cafeteria.
Wyatt's, yeah.
That's what I miss from the mall. Inside, outside, around the corner, somewhere close by.
Yeah.
But that's what I missed the most.
I do remember that.
That was some of the. Is Wyatt's Cafeteria? Did it turn into Furs or Lubies or?
I think
don't know.
Luby's took over all of them, and now Luby's is kind of struggling.
Yeah, that's because the old people died after COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, or they didn't just die. Maybe they got scared to go out.
Yeah, everyone that went to Luby's isn't old enough to die from COVID. If
Lubies is. I went to Lubies with my grandmother all the
Yeah.
time. That's how I learned about it. Lubies does cater to the senior citizens, and the senior citizens are scared to go out. I mean, think about when things got bad for Lubies. It was after COVID.
Yeah.
It started
Yeah.
going down because the old people died,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they catered to senior
or they just got
citizens.
scared to go out.
They got scared. Yeah.
Man, they have sugar-free pie, man. Come on.
Yeah,
Who else are they catering to?
they catered
Sugar-free.
to senior citizens, but they also they mainly cater to the after church crowd, which is predominantly senior citizens because, you know, they're getting ready to
Sister
go.
Gertrude,
So they're trying to get right.
Sister Baby.
So, question. When was the last time y'all been to the mall? Like, really been to the mall?
Really been. Honestly, I only go into the shoe store on the outs. Like, I go to Champs. I know my size. I go right in there. I get right out.
Yeah.
And that probably was a few months ago. And before then was probably the last time I bought shoes. A year before that. Like, I don't buy shoes very often.
I went to the mall a couple of months ago. It was the Parks Mall, actually. I think I went there primarily to go to Dick's Sporting Goods
Mm.
because they're the only ones, they're the only Dicks where you can get, oh God. They're the only Dicks where
I'm
you
logging
can buy
off.
guns and ammo.
I'll be back next episode.
So that was the last time I went to a mall.
Damn, he's going to get guns and ammos. Shit.
That's just to toughen up what he said, because what he said
Guns
is
and ammo at Dick's.
So, do you guys like buying online, or would you rather like to walk around and shop the mall? That's a good question right there. Do you prefer online or in person?
I don't like either one, because
Oh, sure,
online
okay.
the stuff never fits like it's supposed to,
Yeah.
and then the mall, I just go directly to the store I want to go to.
Yeah.
I don't like all that work. Like if I can go to Macy's because I can go from the outside,
Yeah.
but if I have to walk through the mall, I don't like it either.
Yeah. You don't want to go through the mall.
Yeah, I'll lids. I know my hat size.
Yep.
Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't shop at the mall for clothes at all. I mean, for one reason, I used to have a hard time finding clothes that were my size at the mall. So I would go to other places, whether they were specialty places or big and tall places. Even now, I don't really go to the mall for clothes.
Mm.
Like,
I
if
have the same issue.
I see something I
Yeah.
like, I might go through Amazon, or I might, just go to some other place. But the mall, I kind of feel like I'd be overpaying for something that I didn't really want that bad.
Yeah,
or
you know.
that I can find somewhere else. Because I'm not a big brand name guy to begin with.
Yeah, I'm not either.
And that's
no.
kind of what the mall's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't care for
Like Grand La Plaza.
Grand La Plaza.
There's nothing name brand there.
You know what you can get there? Boots
Yeah.
and cowboy hats.
You
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
get boots.
Place is crazy, man.
Cowboy hats, yeah. If you want to pay a couple $100 for a good cowboy hat, you can do that there. I'm not gonna do that.
What
I'm
about-
gonna pay about $40 to $50 for a hat.
What about fashion? Like what regrettable fashion? I ain't gonna say that you all miss, but like stuff you loved back then that you like. There's no freaking way.
Mm.
Okay, explain to me what was so great about Gerbodes, other than having a label right on
Nothing.
your dick. I mean, what else was there
Nothing.
about Gerbodes? What
Pop
separated
culture.
Gerbodes?
Yeah,
Pop
and
culture.
that's all I had was that label because we bought a bunch of those little tags.
Uh-huh.
My aunt got them, and we just sewed them on the front of our jeans.
Man, that is
And if
genius.
anybody remembers me from school, I would have my shirt tucked in the front
Yeah.
and hanging out in the back, so you couldn't see that there was no jabot on the back.
Oh my.
I was
God.
definitely wearing Bugle Boy or
Yeah, I was gonna say
maybe
yeah,
not even Levi's, because Levi's they weren't expensive, but they weren't cheap. back
Yeah,
then.
they're in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it probably was. What was that maneuver? I don't even remember the brand that started with it. I just know J.C. Penney's. If it was J.C. Penney brand or Kmart, is what I probably had. And I put
Kmart.
that-
Damn, that's another ghost.
yeah, I
right
put
there.
that Jabot tag in the front, and
Oh wow,
I'm a
Kmart.
bad. I was always able to outsmart the people.
Yeah, dude, that's smart. That's genius, though.
Yeah, man,
that's
cool,
genius.
man.
Jabot in the front, Wrangler in the back.
Yeah, something like that. And I'm gonna still look good in them. That's the way I started doing that then, and it just
Yeah, I never understood Gerbodes. I never understood Tommy Hilfiger. I thought Polo was cool,
Yeah.
but like a lot of the brand names, like I would wear Nautica. I think
Oh yeah, Nautica.
I like that.
that was primarily a Dillard's thing.
When I think of fashion, and you say regrettable fashion, I'm gonna tell you, and you all probably didn't go through this phase, but there's a group called Crisscross,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had another, and we started wearing our clothes backwards,
Yeah.
and like real big and sagging,
Yeah.
and inside out. I got my ass whooped for trying to go out the house like that. My dad didn't play that.
He went all
But
right.
like there's stuff that we did that I never did the sagging thing, but I wore the clothes like I looked at pictures like your shirt's like freaking 4 times your like,
yeah,
like a shirt I would wear now I was wearing in the 7th grade.
yeah.
That was stupid.
That is
was
crazy.
the stupidest shit.
I so
ever.
remember that.
That
And
shit looks dumb.
overalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Every rapper wanted you to do something stupid with your clothes. Like Criss Cross was like wear your clothes backwards, and then ABC's thing was to wear your clothes inside out.
Yeah, inside out.
So you can hide the fact that you're not wearing jabos.
Yeah.
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 You know, you can handle that problem.
Yeah. Not. Yeah. 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 Oh man, that was crazy. I'm just thinking about that. That was real crazy.
But overalls, yeah, there were a few people that I remember. They wore the overalls, but they were never all the way up. They wore them down.
And the one
Yeah.
strap off, remember?
Yeah, I think LL Cool J started that.
Yep. Yeah.
LL Cool J was the first one that we knew with the. That was in the late '80s.
Yeah.
And one leg up,
Mhm.
like roll
Oh, yeah, the
pants
one leg up.
Yeah.
So back then,
But I
most
don't
of
regret that. I'd still rock that today.
The one leg up.
One leg up or the one strap on overall.
Could you imagine seeing me with one leg up walking around?
God.
Let's be real. Could you see me? I should just do it one day next show. Come in
Hey, it
here.
was better than that tape. It can't get much
Hey,
worse.
man.
or you gotta wear loud stuff like cross colors.
Oh man, I remember that too.
You give me give me a girl the same size Hooters as the tape girl. I'll come in here wearing two legs up. I don't give a shit. And I'll come here doing some cartwheels.
It's crazy.
Motivate a motherfucker down.
What a guy will do for a woman.
I mean, we used to wear some crazy colors in the '80s. Like cross colors wasn't most of their stuff like orange and purple?
Orange, purple, African looking colors.
It was the what's the guy? Remember
Cross
the
colors.
No, with the bando, the guys. Chris jump. I want to jump.
Well, they
They
did.
just
They
cross
did the
colors.
backwards
They
clothes.
did back, yeah, cross colors
Kid and
was
Play, I think, did more cross colors.
not the actual brand cross colors. I'm gonna tell you who I remember cross colors. The brand was Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah,
And Living Color.
that's right.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
who. That's who first. The actual brand, but just wearing the colors. Yeah, probably Chris. I mean,
Kid and
Kid and
Play.
Play.
Yeah,
Everybody, I guess, from the music era at that time.
was really big on loud colors.
Yeah, that shit was.
That is crazy, man.
Oh,
But-
that shit was.
Maybe that's just part of being young back then too, because everyone thought that was cool and everyone wanted to stand out and be seen. And when you wear bright orange and purple and yellow, you're gonna be seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare.
You know what? I'll be honest. Just I know as we're trying to close out the show, there's times though where I really do wish I could snap my fingers and go back just for a couple of days.
Man, I wish I could go back for good and start over.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Heck yeah, knowing what you know now.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would be I'd own an island.
I'd be licking pussy. I would. I would just start off doing that in the 7th or 8th grade because I wouldn't dare. Probably until I was 20-something, 30. Whatever. I'm just being honest. That's probably the
Keep
best.
it in for a while.
That's probably the only thing I didn't know back then I would change. Yeah, man, I probably would. I ain't gonna lie. I'd
Yeah.
take everybody's girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
I would.
Well, yeah, I would know now. I'd have the confidence now.
I wouldn't need no money.
No, shit, no.
If you were the only guy giving oral back then, you would have all the girls because that was like there was a big stigma about that back in the day.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't do that kind of stuff back then. I didn't even know
Shit,
that.
I did. I
was a
don't
good boy.
know.
That's what I'm
Why?
saying. Yeah.
Well, when I first started, being
I
sexual,
didn't know anything about that.
shit, I was going down, dude. Fuck.
Oh, I mean, you have to.
I'm like,
You're white.
oh, fuck. I'm black the waist down, man. Hey, there's an old saying. If you can't cut the mustard, you can lick the jar.
And I think on that note,
Man, we were doing good until right at the end. Right at the end, we've been holding this in the whole time. This show was a family show until right at the end.
Shit. When we talk
can't
about the
help it.
birds and bees, it's just a little different.
We can't help it.
You closing us out, Mike?
sure, I guess we can do that, and that'll do it for today, you guys. Thanks to everyone who took the time out to join us. Hey Siri, hey Google, and Alexa, set a reminder to like and subscribe to the Gen X Talk podcast, and to tune in live 2 weeks from today for the next edition of the Gen X podcast. So take care, be safe, and until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.